damp and dreary, but that's okay. We'll keep your spirits up. It's time for the Cummins Real Estate Group show with myself, Curtis Pope, and of course, the star of the show, the main attraction, Michele Cummins. How you doing, Michele?
Curtis, no, you are the main attraction. Come on. You know what? No more of that. You are the star. I have to say that you have been amazing, and you are an amazing person, and you're the star of the show. Let's get real.
Well, let's be serious here. If you keep that up, I'm not going to be able to step outside the door here. My head won't fit. So let's keep it on the rails here.
You're the fun person here. I'm just all about stats. You get to interview all these amazing artists, and you're creative, and you get to be on radio every day. And I just talk about stats and real estate.
Yeah, but that's where we have to come to you for all this information, because I don't know what the heck I'm talking about when it comes to real estate, but you sure do.
Goodness, we make a good team then.
I guess so. I guess it's a yin and yang kind of thing going on here.
It's true. That's what life's about. It's true. Do you know we're on episode 148? Because I'm so about writing things down all the time.
Numbers and stats,
148.
everything. I can't believe 148. Wow.
Yeah, we're at the 148th episode.
That's very cool. Very cool indeed.
We're going to have to celebrate at 150. Actually, we should just celebrate it like every 149, 150, 151. Every day is we're celebrating.
Exactly. Although I thought we were doing the 29th episode forever. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's our ages, right?
That's right.
Well, I guess we have to get talking real estate again, because that's what we do here on the show. And I know we're going to carry on with our election theme for the second half, but what are we doing here for the first half of the show?
Well, we are going to talk about rents in Canada, because they have had a freeze on increasing rental rates for, during this whole pandemic that we've been in. But things have been, interesting lately. And so we're going to talk about what rents in Canada, and really specifically Vancouver, Greater Vancouver, Fraser Valley area is doing. But first, I wanted to ask, because this is an amazing, downpour yesterday. The warning on my weather app was 70 mile winds, and batten down the hatches because it's going to be crazy, and all the rain. And you know what? This time of the year, it seems like the fall festival, like the corn festival of the Chilliwack and Agassiz area, is it gets rained on. But you know what? That's why we have such amazing terrain, and our area is so amazing. But this weekend, I was going to actually put the General Lee and our Night Rider car, our Night Rider, in the parade that's happening in Agassiz. But this morning, we're supposed to be there at 9:30 a.m. And I'm not quite sure yet. I'm like, do we do it? Do we not do it? What do you think?
Well,
should we go to the parade this morning?
Well, I guess it depends whether or not you feel you need a car wash or not. I look at this as Mother Nature's car wash. It keeps things clean. No, that would be a tough decision to make. We live on the wet coast, right? We don't live on the west coast. We have to deal with this, and it's nothing new to us. And you can always tell the people that were born on the west coast versus the people that weren't, because for one, we don't use umbrellas because we just can't be bothered, because we know how often we need to use them if we start.
I know, and I have these amazing umbrellas that are clear, and they've got my little logo on it. I love them. But you know what? I only have two hands. We all only have two hands.
Yeah, exactly.
How much can we carry?
I'm as West Coast as you can get. I was born in downtown Vancouver, and you will never see me, no matter how bad it's raining, with an umbrella.
So what are you and Kelly and the kids doing this weekend? Are you just going to dance in the rain? Are you going to?
Well, I figured I'd work on the ark that I've been building in the backyard.
Is it big enough for me, Richard, and BB, and all of our cars?
I think so. But my measurements, the old time measurements in the Bible, I don't know how you convert them to metric, so I'm still struggling a little bit.
I know, cubics this and cubics that.
Yeah.
I still don't understand
I don't know how much a cubit is in metric, so I'm working on the conversion chart.
Well, have a wonderful weekend. But okay, so I wanted to mention Jessica Oates. I don't know. I know you, obviously. We follow, you're on social media, and you've actually done better than when we first, started our radio show a few years ago.
I've gotten a little better.
He's gotten a little better. And so a lot of social media, people are on social media. So I've been sharing weekly mortgage rate changes from Harmony Mortgages, which is actually Jessica Oates, but she's with Harmony Mortgages. And she's been sharing those with me. So I've been able to share them on my social media, and I post them on Facebook weekly. And so that's been great. So I want to just thank Jessica Oates for her help there and in providing that for us. And so without further ado, because time is of the essence in real estate, as it is in our radio show. So we are talking about rents in Canada, and January 1st of 2022 is when BC supposedly has the rent freeze will be released. But things change. And we'll see what happens, but that's what's set for BC. That's our province. But for the fourth consecutive month, the average rent in Canada increased for all property types. And of course, you wonder, how does that happen in BC? Well, when you purchase a property that has been previously lived in by the owner, or it was their vacation property, or there was just not a tenant in it before, you can actually establish current rates for that property. And so that's how BC can be included in the stats. So for the fourth consecutive month, the average rent in Canada increased for all property types, rising to $1,763 in August. That's up 0.6% over July and up 5.2% since this year's market low of $675,000 in April. So that's according to Rentals.ca and Bullpen Research and Consulting's latest national rent report. So rents are expected to continue to rise as university and college classes resume, as some workers return to the office, and as the border is reopening. This forecast is contingent on the Delta variant staying in check, of course, but Canada's average monthly rent is still about $190 below the market peak of what it was in September 2019, which was $1,954. Single-family homes have bounced back with a higher average rental rate in August than in the same month in 2019. The average monthly rent for apartments continues its slow and gradual increase year over year, while average rents for condominium apartments continue their slow and gradual decline. But condo rental rates could soon turn around on a national basis, as they are up 15% and 16% from February to August in Vancouver. Larger units with 3 or 4 bedrooms have experienced significant year-over-year increases, suggesting the demand for larger units persists as tenants expect working from home to continue in some fashion. Now, Vancouver topped the list of 35 cities for average monthly rent in August for a one-bedroom home at $2,167, and for average monthly rent for a two-bedroom at $3,044. Now, Curtis, we were talking before we started the show that we actually are having a guest on our show next week. We're so excited about it.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had a guest. Now, before people get too excited, it's not Chip or Joanna.
I know. You know what? That's going to happen soon. But next week we have Nathan, and he is a multi-millionaire when it comes to real estate and investing. And we were chatting about, there's a few topics we can talk about. What should we hone in on? And I just had bought another Airbnb unit in Vancouver. I've got a city in the sky skyscraper 2-bedroom unit that I'm just fancying out right now. I've hired Debbie Roberts and Christine Allen to design it for me so that I can start Airbnb-ing it. Now, Vancouver only has a couple buildings that actually allow Airbnb units, because overall, the Strata Act in Vancouver weren't allowing it. But since the pandemic, a couple buildings have softened on their rules. So I'm really excited about that, because I've experienced Airbnb, and it's phenomenal. It's wonderful. It's wonderful as somebody who's using it. My first Airbnb that I rented was in Texas, and I loved it. so much better than a hotel. You get so much more for the money, and it's just such a great experience. And I wanted to share that with others as well. So I've been able to do that, and I'm excited about this Vancouver one. So I thought, I said, one of the options was short-term rentals. I said, let's talk about that. So next week, that is what he's going to speak about, is short-term rentals and how you can make really good money on that. So I'm really excited to bring Nathan on.
Absolutely, and I'm very excited to hear you have an Airbnb in Vancouver. So when we have concerts coming to town again, I can go, so Michele, have you got an availability at your Airbnb?
You can see BC Place from my place, and the lights are so great. And there's like some old buildings and some new skyscrapers, and it's crosstown. So you could walk to gas town, you can walk downtown, you can see Science World, you can see the ocean, you can see there's a couple ocean views. It's really great. So I'm excited about it. And yes, you and Kelly, you have to come down there and use it and have it.
Absolutely.
So and actually, literally, it's just this week it's happened. So, but hopefully, I'm actually surprising Richard about it because he doesn't know about it.
Okay, well, I know he doesn't listen to the show. We're fine.
Well, he doesn't wake up this early. He's a musician. They sleep until 1 p.m.
Exactly. We're safe. He won't know for weeks.
Exactly. So that's the exciting news. And I wanted to mention some headlines. Actually, we have to go to our break, but quickly, a couple hot headlines. So for national headlines in Central Canada, the BNN Bloomberg says how a foreign home buyer ban in Canada could backfire. Very interesting stuff. CBC News, Stats Canada finds a mortgage borrowing hit a record in the spring. Financial Post says trailer parks could hold the answer to Canada's national housing crisis. You wonder how all these things happen, but there's some great headlines in the news right now. And of course, it's all about economy and affordability and real estate. And of course, what we're going to talk about on our second segment, which is the elections.
Absolutely. All right. Well, if people want more information about what you do as a realtor, where can they go?
MichelleCummins.ca.
We're back with more right after this. Real Estate Group show. My name is Curtis Pope, and of course the star of the show, Michele Cummins. Okay, Michele, we have an election coming up pretty quick here, and we're going to talk about some of the platforms here. We went through the Liberal and the Conservative last week, if memory serves. So I guess this week you have a couple other parties.
That is correct. And we will start off with the NDP. So, of course, we're really focused on real estate. That's what the show is about. So some of the highlights that the NDP that we are going to talk about and they have on their platform is to create at least 500,000 units of quality, affordable housing over the next decade, with half of the homes built within 5 years. Of course, we don't know how they're going to do these things, but this is their platform, and that's what we did last week, and that's what we're doing this week with our three other parties here. And the second point is that they're going to reintroduce 30-year terms to Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation insured mortgages on entry-level homes for first-time buyers, allowing for smaller monthly payments. And then they're going to do double the home buyer's tax credit to $1,500. So that's what they're promoting. Of course, we know that a lot of what the parties say they want to do, whether they do them or not, is another story. But what's really important is knowing the history and what they've done in the past and how they've showed true to what they said they would do, and if they actually did it, and where their platforms are. So if you're familiar with the parties, then you're familiar with what they do. But the fourth thing that the NDP has on their radar is that they're going to place a 20% foreign buyers tax on the sale of homes to non-Canadians and non-permanent residents. And so NDP DJ from Chilliwack, he is quoted to say, Chilliwack and Hope is experiencing high rates of population growth while simultaneously seeing skyrocketing rents, not unlike other areas, demo evictions, and ballooning home prices. And so that is the case with every area, really. We know that. He says, I believe the most effective federal strategy to increase housing and rental affordability would be to mandate a percentage of affordable homes and units be required in new builds and Canada Mortgage and Housing Cooperation rules. So that's CMHC. So there's a lot of aspects, a lot of legs and arms that have to do with ideas and how things implement and what they do. But that is the quote from DJ Poll from Chilliwack, NDP. And so the Green Party, so we've got three parties we're speaking about today. And next, the Green Party has not yet released its 2021 platform at the time that I got my information a few days ago, but instead plans to unveil its commitments in pieces throughout the campaign. Well, we're really close. We're having elections. Pre-elections was last weekend, where you can elect early. And however, the following are the priorities that have so far been posted on the party's website and communicated by their leader. So the first is declare a national housing and homelessness emergency and establish a national moratorium on evictions. Second is to create a residential heirs assistance program. Third is to refocus the core mandate of the Canada Mortgage and Housing Cooperation, which is CMHC, towards supporting development of affordable nonprofit housing. And then their platform is to implement a retroactive residential tenant support benefit and to create a Minister of Housing to oversee these policies. So that is where the Green Party stands on real estate rights. And then last political party we will speak about is a People's Party government. So relatively, the People's Party government hasn't been in every election, but with everything that's been happening lately, we've got some information on that party and where they stand. So substantially reduce the immigration quotas is what they want to do, from about 400,000 planned by the Liberal government down to 100 to 150,000 per year, and that this will help reduce demand for housing and cool down these markets, especially in the large cities where most immigrants settle. And a People's Party government will modify the Bank of Canada's inflation target from 2% to 0%. This will cool down inflation in all sectors, including housing. And stop funding social housing, which unfairly competes with private developers and has historically been a financial, social, and urban planning disaster in every city where it's become widespread. It is not the government's role to build and rent apartments. Dependency on government handouts is never the solution. And revitalize or dismantle the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, which is CMHC. It's a mammoth government agency that fuels the housing crisis instead of helping to cool it down. All it has ever done is encourage Canadians to buy houses they can't afford and accumulate massive amounts of debt that the federal government and ultimately Canadian taxpayers will be responsible for. And the PPC quote in Chilliwack from Robert he has said, first and foremost, our immigration policies must not exacerbate the problems Canadians are already struggling with. He has said reducing immigration to less than 150,000 per year will help address the housing crisis because it will reduce demand within our housing market. So this is the people's, the PPC. So these are just quick little segments, quick little spurts of kind of where they stand. But there's so much more that has to be explained per point that they have, because how are you going to do that? Why do you see that helping? And then all the legs and all the things that happen because of everything that they stand on. So I find it very, very important and interesting, and it's for all of us to take the time. Time is of the essence. I mean, we're all busy. I don't care what you do or who you are or even what age you're at, really. Time is so important for all of us, and to be able to really know where each party stands and how they're going to help you and your family better your life, better your quality of life. That's what it comes down to. And so it's really important to really know who you're voting for and that you do vote. And these are the times you really need to take aside and take that time to learn what each party stands for and vote what's best for you and your family and your loved ones. Don't
Absolutely.
you agree?
It takes a lot of research. There's a lot going on and a lot to read through, but you really do have to do your homework when it comes to these things, because you don't want to vote for somebody and you're going, oops, I missed this point, and I completely don't agree with that.
It's true, and sometimes they have some great things, but then there's other things you're like, no, or they don't mention it. But if your research reveals what they're really all about or what else they would do, and you got to weigh. Nothing's perfect, no party's perfect, no person you ever vote for is perfect. So you have to really weigh what's better than not, right?
Yeah, you do. You have to. Sometimes it's picking the lesser evil.
Exactly. So with that, I hope everyone has fun voting and does vote if and when you can. So, okay, so I've got a new listing, and this is a co-list, actually. We're having an open house today and tomorrow, both from 1 to 3 p.m. We thought, let's leave it open to both days. And this is a co-list with Christine Allen. She's a realtor with Remax Little Oak as well. And it's a newer listing, so actually just this week. It's at 33270 Brown Crescent in Mission. And it's a rancher with a full basement. It's a 5-bedroom, 1-bathroom. It was built 1974. I love that year. And Curtis, don't give away. We're 29 forever, remember?
Exactly.
And the size of the lot is 7,500 square feet, and the size of the house is 2,300 square feet. And it's on a quiet street. And this house is very well maintained. And the basement's partially finished. And so it could convert into an in-law suite very easily. And the price on that property is $849,900. And when do you see properties under $1 million anymore, right?
No, not very often.
I know. So come out today, come out tomorrow, and have a look at the open house. And Christine Allen is going to be hosting that. It's from 1 to 3 p.m. And then I just want to say I have land assemblies that are exclusive listings. I do not have them on the general MLS, which is the Realtor.ca, REW.ca, all the public sites. No, you will not find my development properties on those sites. They're exclusive. So if you are a developer, if you are a builder, if you're an investor, if you're looking for something, or if you have a property that you're like, I know the overall community plan is for higher density than this single-family residential house that's on the property now, or what have you, then give me a call and I will help you find the perfect buyer who will pay you the highest price. And also, that's what I do, is I work for property owners to sell their properties to hungry developers and that really, really want to get into the market today, so that when they develop 5 years from now, they're paying today's prices, not 5 years from now. So give me a call if you have any interest in that, or if you have any questions about that. And Curtis, you know what? I've got a quote of the week. Are you surprised?
No, I am not surprised at all. In fact, I've been waiting with breathless anticipation for this.
Okay, so this one is from a great, as they all are really. The quote is, "The greatest discovery of all time is that a person can change his future by merely changing his attitude." It's all about mindset. Okay, I just spit that one out, the end there. But the actual quote is from Oprah Winfrey.
And it is true because it can be hard sometimes when the rain's coming down, both figuratively and literally in your life. But you sometimes just have to pick yourself up and find that silver lining, right? And find that positive attitude. And it's amazing what it can do for you.
It is so amazing. Mindset is everything. So take your vitamins and, be positive. Have a positive mindset.
All about the good vibes.
Exactly.
All right. Well, if people want more information about what you do as a realtor, where can they go?
MichelleCummins.ca.
And join us again next week when we will talk real estate in order to unlock your real estate potential on a show where real estate is maximized. Thanks for listening.